Greetings and felicitations.
Okay, here comes the first round.
Boom. And
Jeez, that was just
boom.
unnecessary.
You kidding me? You can't be out of range? What?
They're both making their faction picks right now. I've got air runners. What? Okay. How does this faction always end up in the finals? How does this faction always end up in the finals? Rico's still got a pick to make. Eruner says Ithaca means defeat. I agree. I think of this against a really good opponent, Ithaca is a recipe for disaster. You know what I do like? I do like taking Ithaca against Phthia. I tend to do really well in that matchup. Ithaca, even though it's funny, we keep bashing on Ithaca right now. We're saying like Ithaca is a surefire way to lose against a good opponent, but simply speaking, though, Ithaca has the best unit in the game with I just got Rico's pick. I can't believe what's happening. I can't believe this. This is exactly what happened in the first tournament, and I think the second tournament. Both had final games on with this matchup. I think Eruner guessed what Rico was going to pick. I have the picks. And I am shocked. Okay, here we go. For the finals, we're going to get Rico as Phthia and Eruner as Salamis. Somehow Salamis never gets played in the entire tournament, and then it's the Battle 5 faction. Somehow. Maybe I predicted it with Ajax? I don't know. Yeah, Scorpion says Salamis has not been played in the whole tournament, and yet here comes Eruner out of nowhere. Battle 5 of the finals, somebody has to play Salamis, and somebody has to play Phthia. Here we go! This was Alexandros versus Hazard in the first Iliad tournament. They both showed up brand new to the multiplayer scene for that tournament, and then kicked off a rivalry that went for all the way through the next tournament. And it was a real showdown between Salamis and Phthia. The reason the matchup is so interesting is that Salamis has access to Paragon units, and these Paragon units are variations on other units, other factions' units. In particular, Salamis can recruit a Paragon Myrmidon Spearman and a Paragon Centaur Champion, both of which are units that Phthia can get, but Phthia's versions of them aren't as good as Salamis's versions because Salamis has the Paragon version. Granted, Phthia can bring more Centaurs overall than Salamis can, and can bring more Myrmidons overall than Salamis can, but it's still a very, very interesting matchup. So, Hill of Tears. This is a very balanced map, but it is very tree-heavy. Many, many trees on this map, and they're spread out just enough to be really annoying for chariots. And in particular is this east to west, north south. No matter how you face it, you have to deal with the fact that there is this ridge line on both sides, one here and one there. So with these two ridge lines, we have the Hill of Tears itself, and its defining feature is all of these scrubs and trees. So this map is very difficult to play with chariots on, but there is open ground for chariot play. The thing is, though, is that oftentimes they're never where you need them to be. This area right here, almost exactly on this line, is a huge battle. It's the battle for the hill at the center of the map. Both players kind of play into it. Sometimes you'll see something like one player choosing to deploy their forces here and then trying to advance at the enemy like this, but then usually the enemy just takes the central position anyway. Okay, we've started. Let's quickly talk about the deployment here. We have Farseeing Archilochus from Eruner at the middle ground already. So he's made this choice to maybe sacrifice Farseeing Archilochus. This is a Harpy Fiend, very valuable unit. This unit performs like a unit that costs 1100 should perform, maybe even 1,300. We've got a pair of Ajax's Wall, we have a pair of Salamis Marines, we have 1 Salamis Spearman, and we have 2 Island Spearmen, as well as 3 Giants, 2 of which are Armor Giant Spearmen, one of them is a Giant Champion, and a Fighter Ravager hero on foot. Meanwhile, there's also Giants on the other side of the equation. 2 Armor Giant Spearmen, 1 Giant Champion. We've got a line of Renowned Flying Spears, 4 of them. We have a Centaur Champion, 2 Spear Fighting Myrmidons, and a Fighter Ravager hero on foot. Both sides bring in the Fighter Ravager. It's a very reliable hero. It's definitely taken over the meta in the as far as like the cheap heroes go in the time since the last tournament. So with Farseeing Archilochus being here, he was able to hold back the attack of the Thyans just long enough to get his forces up here onto the Hill of Tears and into a position to really threaten. The Salamis Marines are opening fire. Farseeing Archilochus is going to fall back from the Armored Giant Spearman. One of the things that makes Farseeing Archilochus so deadly is that it has this this perfect vigor. There it is, perfect vigor. So she is never going to get tired, and she will come back and deal horrific damage to the enemy. So Rico is the only one who brought any kind of cavalry unit here, or chariot. Nobody brought a chariot because the chariot play is very difficult to do on this map, like I said. It's a Centaur Champion who's going to try and get this unit across the tree line before it gets intercepted, and then try and get into the back, maybe go after Farseeing Archilochus. The problem is that there's this Armored Giant Spearman just eyeing those Centaurs up right now. It's over here with a very specific purpose of defeating large units. The Armored Giant Spearmen are one of the best at it. The main battle is engaged. We have Armored Giant Spearmen versus Armored Giant Spearmen. We have Farseeing Archilochus trying to just nuke out the morale with its fear-causing javelins. If I mentioned how good Farseeing Archilochus is, but with the support of Giant Champions, Eruner is going to easily defeat the Armored Giant Spearmen on this side. Where are the... Oh, here they are. The Giant Champions, they had to become part of the line here. They're facing off against Salamis Spearmen. The Salamis Spearmen will like that matchup, and the Giant Champions and Armored Giant Spearmen can flank around and really do some damage here if they so choose. Here comes the Centaurs going straight for Farseeing Archilochus. Quickly being intercepted though by Island Spearmen, and the Salamis Marine is going to jump in on them as well as the hero, and they're going to activate that I'm sorry, that was the morale effect from the javelins. There's only one direction he can retreat in, and that's what he has to do. He has to get out of there. He's completely overwhelmed. He did beat up this Armored Giant Spearman though, and this poor Giant Champion is a little bit overwhelmed trying to deal with the Renowned Flying Spears. Holy cow! This is really coming down to it. Both sides using giants and bringing them. Let's hear. Jarl got banned from his own channel. That is epic. Yeah, apparently that's what happened. Salamis having a clear lead here. I'm not so sure about that. I think I would have to agree in the long term, but Glorious Neoptolemus here is getting outflanked and outplayed here, and the Spearfighting Myrmidons are going to tear apart the Salamis Marines, and the Renowned Flying Spears are still one of the best infantry units in the game, and we are still seeing value getting pulled out of the Giants, even though the Giants seem to have lost this battle in the early game. We do have a Renowned Flying Spear out here chasing down this Island Spearman and an Ajax Wall, but they could quickly get overwhelmed. Look at that. He had 3 units on the run. Farseeing Archilochus doing just fine. And he activates the Berserk on his hero, really trying to help him tear all of this down. The Island Spearmen holding that line, and the Salamis Spearmen, they are finally defeated. I don't know, guys. I think Thaya can win this just on the virtue of their superior units. Look at this. Like, this is a good example right here. The Glorious Neoptolemus is a very good unit, but it's singled out. It's isolated, and it is being dealt with. Eruner is going to go ahead and try and terrify out the Armored Giant Spearmen. The Centaurs managed to get in here, get a good charge in, and is now escaping through the routing units. And here comes an Aristea. Good timing for this. He activates a buff for all of his nearby units, raising their melee damage. They're going to tear apart what's left of this Ajax's Wall. They're the tall guys with the big shields here. But as you can see, they're dropping. They're dropping quickly. And another key victory for Rico here as he tries to bring this back. Look at the balance of power now. Really in his favor. Centaur Champions doing a good job chasing out this Salamis Spearman, not letting it escape, not allowing it to regroup. There's still a very healthy Ajax wall here. Farseeing Archilochus is about half health. Eruner has to activate his Aristea, mostly just so he can recover health on his hero, because he was very dangerously close to losing his hero. Eruner is not happy right now. He's he's a little shocked at what's happening. He sees that the things are turning against him. Ajax's wall shattered. A bunch of units are shattering. That's it. It's done. That's it. The whole thing's over. Once the Aristea is out, Eruner is out.
Victory.
Oh my goodness. What a comeback. What a comeback. The superior infantry of Thaya wins the day. GG's all around. Eruner is felled. Rico is your champion for the 1v1 in the third Iliad Games. Holy cow, GG's all around. Let's hear it in the chat. What a fantastic showing this was. The Hill of Tears. Rico thinking he was doomed here. And he pulls out a comeback.
Hades has claimed the enemy.
There he goes. That's it. That's the end. Watch them celebrate. Yay. Yeah, Toffer. Thaya just has the better infantry. Eruner likes making picks that include things like Salamis Marines, Island Spearmen, but these guys cannot hold. They cannot hold against renowned Thyan Spears and Myrmidons. It was a very good effort, all said and told. And even though Eruner started with some very early victories, getting to the hill first, getting Farseeing Archilochus into the right spot, getting one of the giants out of the picture early on, it still turned against him in the end because he couldn't beat out Thaya on the grind. That's what did it for him. Your kill MVP in this battle going to be, no big surprise to me, a renowned Thyan Spear with 138 kills. Meanwhile, what did I say about that grind? I think the best performance from Eruner was the 73 kills on Farseeing Archilochus. Just a great game. Fantastic. That was a ton of fun. Please, everybody, show your appreciation for the competitors. The comeback victory. GG. Very good series.